In this video, we're just going to have a look to see how you can create your own ads from your products for your website. In this case, we're just advertising a product, but you could essentially put any content that you want into the ad space. So I've gone here with a standard leaderboard of 729 by 90 pixels. So if we have a look at that then on the home page, I have some demo content, then I have my ad, and if I scroll down to the footer, I also have an ad. And if we look at that on mobile, you'll see that the ad then changes to the standard mobile size of 300 by 250. And what you'll also notice is that every time I refresh the page, the content changes. And that's because the output is set to just choose a random post each time. So that's how we have it on the home page. If we go into the shopping page and we go into mobile view, then you'll see that the ad changes at the top. And then once again in the footer, come as no surprise, we have a different ad. So how do we set that up? Quite easily, actually. So what I did is I created a template inside Bricks, and that template was for this particular item. And yeah, the easiest way to do that then, if we're going to create something from scratch, is I'm going to go over to templates, create template, and I'm going to call this new sales ad. Template type, I'm just going to call it a section. And that's going to be it. And then we'll create the template. So here we have the new sales ad, and then we head over to edit. Right, so here we are, bricks loading up, and now we need to construct that template. And to do that, what I did is I brought in a section with a container, and in this container I created the query loop, and in the query loop we set the post type to, well, it's going to be posts, it's going to be products, its order I set to random, and then further down here we have an option here to add in the meta query. And so in the meta query, the meta key is underscore sale underscore price. The compare I said greater than, and then the meta value I set to 0. So any item on sale with a price greater than 0 qualifies to be in this container. Right, next thing that we're going to do, I'm just going to save that, and then what I'm going to do is add another container inside this one, and that's just to help with the formatting of the various items. So now what we're going to do is, just to get a bearing, I'm going to, well, in this container here, I'm going to set the style, and we're going to set the layout. So we'll set the width to 729 pixels, and then we'll set the height to 90 pixels. Then what I'm going to do is, inside this container, I'm now going to build out the add element. So to do that, I'm going to need an image. So let's have a look at the image. So image, and the image that we're going to use here is going to be the featured image. So we'll go over to content here, and I'm going to select the dynamic. I'm just going to go featured image. So there we have the featured image, and the size that I want is just going to be the thumbnail. Won't need anything bigger than that. And there we have the thumbnail coming in. Now you'll see we have a lot. Now I only want the one. So I'm going to go back to my container, back to my loop, and then post per page, I'm just going to set to 1. Right, so we've set that. Now what we need to do is add the title. And what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to separate out the image and then the rest of the content. So I'm going to add another container. And this is really just to make formatting easier. And so we'll add container. Right, now in this container, so here we have the container, and we've got to change the layout to a horizontal low, and I'm going to set the formatting to space between. And in this particular container, then I'm going to change the layout and I'm going to add a padding there of 10 pixels all round. Right, now what I need to do, sorry, that container must come in. No, not that container. Right, the container that I'm looking for is this container. And this container, I will give the padding for 10 pixels. And then I will also change the layout here to the horizontal row. And then what I'm also going to do is set it at space between and then just stretch the items. Then I'm going to add the post title. So we'll add a post title, and I'm also going to add the price. So I look for the element price, and we'll add a product price. So we've got the title and the product price. So you'll see that they are nicely aligned in that respect. And then I'm going to set that like that. And then this container, style-wise, we're just going to give it a height of 100%. Right, so it's coming together. And the last thing I want to do is just add something that says on sale. So the last item, I'm going to add some text, basic text, and that basic text, we'll make that on sale. And I'll just format that quickly, style-wise. So we're going to give that a some padding. So we'll make that, say, let's try 15 pixels. And I'm going to give that a height. Make sure the height of that is 100%. Then what I'm going to do is some background color there. So the background color there will be red. And then we'll just make the typography, the color white. Right. And of course, then the width, that'll be fine. And now what we need to do is put that in the middle. So it has a style of div. So then we should have a vertical align option. Here we go. Align self. If that doesn't work, go back to the content. That should be working. We've set a height and now we're going with the style. And we're going with the, that's because I've selected the flex and I'm looking for a vertical align. Okay, then we'll change that to flex. Right. So we've set the item to on sale, and there we have the title, and there we have the price. And now you'll see that the image height is not correct. So one way to fix that, we know that the container is 90 pixels high. So I'm just going to go over to that image size, and we'll set the height there to 90 pixels. And then to make it stand out more, it does look a little bit dull. So this container here with the writing, I'm just going to make that background black. Right, and if I make that black, then I'm going to change the post title to yellow. Typography, I'll make it turquoise. And then here with the product sale price, the nice thing about that is I can target the sale price typography, and I'm going to make that yellow so it stands out more. And then also the size, I want to make that 20. And then now you'll see what's happening here with this image is that because I've set the filter to do random post, it'll continually change while you're working. So while I'm working in here, I'm just going to change that container content, and instead of random, I'm just going to leave it at title. And that way, hopefully, it won't keep changing every time I do something. And here with the HTML for the title, then we want to change the font weight. Head over to typography, and then we're going to change the font weight to 500. Right, so there we have our ad created. No, okay, hopefully it will just, it does bounce around a bit between the post title and whatever it is that we're working on. And I'll save that, and not the most exciting ad, so maybe what I'll do is I'll up the size, but you can get as creative as you want. Right, now what I'm going to do is save that, and we're pretty much done there. But what I also want to do with this particular ad is just check how it'll fare on mobile. So yeah, it's not, can't actually see what it's doing here. I know that let's have a look. So we need to hide it about here. So then I'm going to head over to Style, Layout, Display, and change that to none. So this ad will then only be available in the desktop view. Right, and we can save that. And then what I did is I just duplicated that and I made a second ad for mobile instead of changing the formatting on the existing ad. So if we want to, we can, of course, then when we get to the mobile view, change the formatting. So on the mobile view, then I'll just maybe adjust it on this particular one. In this case, then we set the width here to 300 and the height here to 250. The issue now is that we need to set the image as a background image and not as a normal image. So in the end, I just opted to make it easier is just to then duplicate this ad. So I'll duplicate the ad, and now I'm going to change the dimensions on here, and then I can also mess with the image location 250, and then this image here I'm going to delete. Then head over to the container, and the container width here we're going to make 100%, and the height, so that should now fill the mobile ad space. And what we're also going to do is change that from a horizontal row to a vertical column. And this container we're also going to do the same. And yeah, so that's been set, and that's been set, and this container is also set. So I'm not sure. The reason why these elements are not conforming is because we set the width of these to 100%. So the product price, or just the, so the, well, no, that should be fine if it's set to 100%. So then I'm just going to set the title to 100%, and then we'll set the product price to the width of 100%, and then the basic text for the on sale, we're going to set that to 100% as well. And then just come back to this container, head over to the content, and there we go. Right, not quite what I want, and I'm not sure why the layout is making it so difficult to work on the product on this layout when it's clearly not supposed to work like that. So maybe what I'm going to do is just head over to the styles. In the layout here, we're going to then just go display none. So we're in the layout, positioning, position, this one. And we need to go back to content. Maybe here we have a there's the display. So we're going to say display none on that layout. And then we'll just head over to the mobile view, or this is the mobile view, so it will show flex, and the top container, we're going to display that as none. Right, so now we only have the one ad on the page, and that'll make it easier. Go to the background here, add that featured images as the background. Right, so the featured image is now going to be in the background. It's 300, so we can look at the medium image size, and we'll set it to cover, so no repeat, and the background size will then just be the default of cover. So we've set that now, and the background color we can also clear. So we've set the image now for the container. The right, let me set it for this container as well then. Right, featured image. Still not working. I'll clear this background color. Right. So this container is the post title, the price. So this product price, I'm going to change the size. We don't want it to be a height. I'm just going to make it a height of auto. That's the one that I want to target. So I want to take that. Right. Then we have the product price and the title. So I'm going to, so the, I don't know what this, we have the post title. Right, so maybe what we're going to do is move the sale to the top of the page, and let's just set the typography there to center. And then for that to work, then we need to specify width. The width is 100%. Let's head over to the container. Let's center everything. So the width is 100% and the typography is set to text align center, and it will not align in the center or on the right. Not sure why that is. Then we have the post title here and the style there. So what I'm going to do now is change the width of this to 50%. And then I'm going to change the product price to 50% as well. And then what I'm going to do is just add in a container. And I'm going to pop the post title and the product price in that, and then the container we will display as flex and horizontal with 2 columns. So we're going to do it like that, and then we're going to set the well, we don't really need to set how the content will display, except that we'd like it to stretch, and because they are pretty close, then this should also be a width of 50%. Right, and it's working. So the product price here now, I'm going to, the regular price, I'm going to change that color to white, and then the sale price, I'm going to make that yellow. Right, so now we're bringing that in. Right, so we have single, we have the price, and then we have the container. The container has no, should have no background color. So let's just double check that. So background is cleared. This container, the background is an image, and that's fine. And then in the main container, let's just check the background there. background color is cleared. So there's no background color set for any of these here, and the section has no background color either. So I don't know where this black background color is coming from. It hasn't been set. Also the post title, let's just check the colors here, if we can change the color. So the title we can change the color of. What we can't do though is when it comes to the product price, let's try changing that color here then. Also not showing. So this is really confusing and really irritating that nothing works.